So I found the 2 bags of 4 SATA data cables included with my motherboard. I've just opened one of them, and there are 2 types of SATA data cables. One where you have a straight end and a right angle end, and one with 2 straight ends. Now I want to use the 2 with a straight end and a right angle end. So I'm just going to open up this one here because, and you'll see this soon, it just works out a little better for plugging them on to the drives. Okay, so we want to use this one, the top golden one, which has the SATA 1 plug and the SATA 2 plugs. Now there are 2 plugs on each one of these. The reason why I'm choosing this one and not the top one is because Cary Holzman recommended using this one, and that's really the whole reason why. I don't know why this is much better, but he just recommended using this one, so that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm just gonna turn it to the side here. Let me just see if we can get a little bit of light on it. Just go like this, I think. It's just because I want to turn the case around afterwards. But yeah, let's just stick it through the top one here, or the middle one, the middle grommet. And we're gonna put it, the SATA 1 plug is the one closest to the back. So we'll get it in the back one, and it should just click into place or snap into place, like so. And we'll just take the second one right away, again with the right angle in the back, through the back, and turn it around so the clip faces outwards, and just snap that on there as well. There we go. And so turn the case around. And yeah, this is starting to look like a mess, but we'll figure it out. It's no big deal. Okay, so we have our 2 cables here. It doesn't matter which one we put into which drive, but let's just grab the first one here and stick it into the SATA data plug on the solid state drive. And as you can see, with the right angle there, it just goes down and it's nice and smooth, and we don't have the problem with it going outwards and bending when we put on the side panel. So that's just to keep it more clean and not having to force the cable around too much. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one, just for the hard drive. Now that one, this bit gets a little bit in the way. I don't know, I think I'm just going to pass it up through here. Might change that later. And that snapped into place as well. And we're good to go. And yeah, as said, I'm going to clean this up later. Alright, so it's been a week. I've received my RAM, which is 2 sticks of 8, so 16 gigs of RAM. It's the Corsair Vengeance Pro Gold, and it runs on a frequency of 2400 megahertz. Unfortunately, I deleted the footage of me inserting the graphics card, and I don't really want to do it again, so I'm just going to explain the process of inserting it and how to do it. Basically what you do is you stick it in there. You hold it here and you want to stick it in the upper slot. On the side here there are 2 panels which you screw off, the ones that I have right here. So obviously you hold it there to figure out which panels you have to take off after screwing the panels off, you push this little notch back and you insert the graphics card and it should snap right into place. You screw the screws back in and you have to insert the two cables that go into the graphics card. One which says PCI on it. Actually, I think it says that on both of them. And this one on the top has, I believe it's 8 pins and 2 pins on one side that you can just push together. So you can either have 2 6 pins or you can have one 8 pin and one 6 pin. And in my case, it's a 6 and an 8 pin. So I had to squash the 2 extra pins in and get them in there. I also did a little bit of cable management, which you'll be able to see once I turn the case around. But basically, you want to insert these 2 cables here, the 6 one in the bottom and the 8 at the top in this case, and route the cables back like I've done with everything else. So I tied this down, which is the firewire, I think it's called, that I'm not going to be using, and I put the fan power for the case around the edge here so they don't get in the way. And that's pretty much it. So you just get them back around and insert them into the power supply so that the graphics card has power, obviously. And just to mention it an extra time, the graphics card is the Zotac GeForce GTX 770, which basically was my decision. It was the best performance for the buck, which was why I decided to get it. And it's a really good graphics card, and I can always slide another or stick another graphics card in there later in case I'll need some more graphic power. Anyways, let's get straight to it. I forgot to insert the SATA data and the SATA power cable into my DVD reader writer, so I'm going to do that now. So this is the SATA power, and I had another 2 of these. This one's a really long one, but they were both the same length. I prefer a shorter one, but in this case there was no choice. Like with all the other power plugs, it's either an 8 pin on the bottom or a 6 pin on the bottom or an 8 pin in the top. And so this is a 6 pin, so I want to stick it in the bottom. It only goes in one way, like so, snaps into place. And just to make it look neat and tidy, drag it back through here. And we need to go up here, so the top grommet is most ideal. Right in like that. And if you get a little closer, just gonna get the light in there. Let's see, it goes in at the far back here, and it should just snap into place. There we go. Now for the SATA data cable, I'm going to be using it would be the third SATA plug. I already used the top 2, so I'm just using the third one, and you always want to take the one furthest at the back. So just snap that into place, like so. And that obviously needs to go up there too. And I'll go for the middle grommet. Take it back around. And up and insert it into the DVD reader writer. Like so. Alright, with that done, we just need to insert the RAM, and that is actually it for the build. Just gonna open it up here, because I haven't done that with this ginormous knife. There we go. should match very nicely with the gold and black on the motherboard, which seems to be the case. And you just want to be really careful while handling the RAM. You really only want to hold onto the heat spreader. So all this is all good, but do not touch any of the golden fingers. If you get your grease on there, it can, in the worst case scenario, shorten out the entire RAM module. Okay, so you want to use the two golden slots here. Usually there are two little things to clip back on each side. You can get in a little closer. But on the Asus motherboards, they only have that in one side, and that's at the top here. So you just push those two back, and you can see there's a little notch in here, which corresponds with a notch on the motherboard 24-pin RAM socket. So it only goes in one way. Which should be straightforward. Like so. I'll do the same thing, just make sure it's up with the other RAM module. Like that. And that is the entire build done. Just gonna get a bit of light in there so you can see it. Alright, I am not going to make this video any longer. In case something goes wrong, I will add that in the video. But if it gets uploaded like this, it means everything went smoothly. I got the operating system, which in my case was Windows 7 on there, and it was that's it. I just want to point out that I did know all the names of the cables and all those kind of things, so if it sounded like I knew what I was talking about, that's really not the case. I watched videos just before assembling all of this, so I knew what was what, and it's really straightforward. I just had to memorize it to tell you guys. But yeah, I really don't know much about computers. I just researched all the parts, which is basically the most difficult part. If you pick out all the parts and you make sure that they all correspond and can cooperate with each other, then you should have a successful system. And this was me trying to do that, and I think I've succeeded. Now, I am going to try turning this on later. And that is that. And just one more thing. Because this case has a really big side fan, I have to plug this power socket here into this power plug into the socket right here, and you have quite a bit of slack, so it's not too much trouble. But you really just want to get that in there, or else that fan is not going to spin. Like so. Put the panel up and on there really smoothly, like that. And that's that for this build.